Hello, everyone, and welcome to the National Inventor Club. This is the March 2022 meeting, and we have some great guests. We have some great intros. The guest tonight is from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office Outreach Innovation Team. Very exciting to have them here to go over all the resources, tools, and tips and tricks that are available to you on the USPTO.gov website. I have author Ben Angel from Unstoppable. He's on, and we have Mustafa with the Wound Zipper. He's also going to be on to introduce himself. Just very quickly, wanted to just give a couple quick announcements. Very exciting to have the newsletter come out every month, the Inventor Smart newsletter, and National Inventor Club is on there. Please go on and subscribe to the newsletter so you can get that every month if you don't already. We have members, which are free and paid for National Inventor Club. So if you're a free member, please enjoy the meetings. We appreciate you getting as much information as you can, as much of the information from the USPTO and past guests that we've had on National Inventor Club. Please enjoy. For those of you who would like premium membership, either you're an inventor or you're a service provider, and you can take a look at the membership packages that are available on nationalinventorclub.com. If you are a paid member, you can join us after the meeting with the networking event that we have. So everybody who's a paid member, you should have received the link that'll bring you into the after meeting networking event that we have. If you're a member, you also get this National Inventor Club t-shirt. You can check out all the inventors that are sending in their t-shirts, pictures with their t-shirts on the homepage of National Inventor Club. That's been fun. And there's other perks as well. So take a look at the packages. And please subscribe if you'd like to as a paid member. If not, please enjoy the free membership. Okay, just another couple quick announcements. For April, we have, is your invention a tax write-off or your business a tax write-off? When should you incorporate? What kind of incorporation or what kind of company should you set up? An LLC, C Corp, S Corp? I figured it's tax season. And I'm going to try to get this in April 13th. So a couple days before tax deadline. So let's get some great information there. I'm also excited about May. We've booked GS1 US. So if you have a product or if you buy things and you see the barcodes that are on practically everything that you buy, GS1 US is the ones that handle that, and they're going to be on to explain to you what resources they have available for startup small businesses, and also if you do need a barcode, what you have to do, and they're going to navigate us through their website. So very, very exciting to have some upcoming guests, and I have a few more after that for June, July. We're going to have an inventor showcase also, service provider showcase. So stick around and subscribe. Please take a look and hit like or subscribe on your social media that you're watching to be able to get that information when we do have upcoming events. All right, so let's start off with Ben Angel. I've gotten a chance to know Ben over the last couple months. He's got an amazing book called Unstoppable, and he's got a couple other books. And I thought he would be great for entrepreneurs, inventors, right? Because when you're coming up with an idea, you're an entrepreneur, you're a startup, right? You're investing time, money, energy, effort into your idea. So let's have Ben give us some tips and tricks on entrepreneurship and what he can do to help us. Thank you for joining us, Ben.
Thanks so much, Brian. As you mentioned, I'm the author of the book Unstoppable, which has been published through Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm a VIP contributor there. So today I want to give you a couple of tips. And before I give you those tips, I want to tell you a little bit about the background story about where these tips actually came from. You see, 5 years ago, I went on a 90-day mission to biohack my way back to health after suffering depression, burnout, and fatigue. And I'm an entrepreneur. My very first business was when I was 16 years old, growing up on a cattle farm in Australia. And yes, that's where the accent's from. But I would take scrap metal, wire, and different pieces from around the farm and actually create metal sculpture, which I would sell to retailers. So I can understand the struggle that many inventors go through in terms of trying to get your product to market. Now, in researching my book, Unstoppable, I spoke to neuroscientists, psychologists, nutritionists, as well as biohackers. And I developed a unique process, a daily journaling process, to ensure that I not only looked after my mental health while writing the books, but also managing and mitigating the negative effects of stress on a daily basis. The daily struggle of an inventor, of an entrepreneur, it's very much like a roller coaster ride. Now, there are two different things that you can add to your daily journal process, and I've got a free download that I'll share with you in a second. But when it comes to making sure that we're optimized, we're focused, we're driven, we're fired up to get through the day, to make our pitches, and to also handle rejection, we need to consider the two different elements. And the first one is we need to identify triggers on a daily basis that blunt our brain. So think of it like this. If you have excessive amounts of caffeine on a daily basis, what can actually occur is it increases lactate in the brain, which is a cause of panic attacks and anxiety. And if you're already under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, and you add caffeine to the mix, it amplifies all of those negative emotions and feelings, and it tends to tip you over the edge. So if we track 1 out of 16 triggers, which is caffeine, we get to understand how to optimize our body to get through what we need to get through. The other trigger that we need to be aware of is nutritional deficiencies, as well as looking at how our diet can in fact cause neuroinflammation. So if you've ever had brain fog, you can't think clearly, you're just not in the mindset to get anything done, you're definitely not in the zone to focus on your work and your pitches, then you could be experiencing brain fog due to neuroinflammation. Now, when neuroinflammation fires up, it literally hinders energy production between the neurons, which means you think slower, you act slower, you can't make clear and decisive decisions. If an opportunity comes across your desk, you're slow to act on it, which means someone else might beat you to the punch, which is why we need to consider our dietary intake as well. Then on the flip side of that, the second part of the journaling process to become unstoppable and focused is to look at 13 different biohacks that you can do on a daily basis that takes 10 minutes or less. And one, which is probably the least favorite of the group, is to take a daily cold shower for up to 5 minutes. And I know some of you aren't going to be happy about that. However, there are clinical studies that have found that taking a 5-minute shower 2 to 3 times a week in cold water can help to alleviate symptoms of depression. Now, I've worked with entrepreneurs for the past 20 years through different means, especially as a contributor for Entrepreneur Magazine. We need to look after our mental health so we can keep going long after others have given up. So when you employ these two strategies on a daily basis, I guarantee you're going to have more energy, drive, and motivation, and you're going to be able to get through those tough times. Now, I've employed these strategies in the last 3 years to produce 3 books, over 250,000 words, and I used it to bounce back from depression to go on to do over $2 million in sales. I use these strategies on a daily basis, and I'm going to drop the link for you in the comments section so you can check it out. But also be sure to grab a copy of my book, Unstoppable. I'd love to share it with you.
Ben, I have the chills here from thinking about a cold shower, but I know it works. Very, very interesting. You know what? These are the type of things that we need to have this entrepreneur mindset, and just simple changes in your life or in your day could have a tremendous impact, and it has for you. And you're an example, and it's proven with you. Besides Unstoppable, and maybe you could just give us tell us a little bit about the book.
Yeah, sure. So the book basically journals the process that I went through. It includes traveling from Australia to the US, even getting stranded in Canada and almost being unable to get back to the US. But in doing that, I interviewed all of these fascinating individuals, including people that specialize in the field of nootropics, which are smart drugs that are derived from either natural or synthetic sources that can help to make sure that we're focused during the day. And one last quick tip, if you guys want anything that's going to help you focus, as well as to alleviate anxiety, make sure you grab yourself some L-theanine. It's called L-theanine, and it produces alpha brainwaves within 30 minutes of consumption. You're going to drop into the zone, and that anxiety is going to slip away. That's one of my top picks.
Wow. Very, very interesting. Ben, thank you so much. I see the link here. We'll get it out to everybody so they can download it and share some of the great information that you have. Thank you very much. And we'll catch you on next time for some more tips. Is that good?
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You too. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Ben. Okay, let's introduce Mustafa. He is the inventor of Wound Zipper. Mustafa, welcome to National Inventor Club.
Thank you, Brian, for the introduction. What you'd like to know about me?
Well, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you invented.
I'm a medical doctor. I'm certified by the American Board of Emergency Medicine. I practice in emergency medicine and urgent care. My invention is called Wound Zipper. I hope you can see it here. It's basically a very simple device, like a Band-Aid that heals wound and cuts in seconds and without inducing any pain, because the alternative is get stitches or other procedure in the emergency department, and it takes longer time and it's a painful procedure. And it's very simple. Here's just a model. Here's something like a Band-Aid on one side of the wound, at the other side, and it attracts each other thanks to magnet in the middle that attracts each other. And it takes seconds, and the patient goes home and remove the wound zipper in a few days, and almost no scars and no pain at all.
Unbelievable. Congratulations. And I know you have several issued patents on it, and you're pending potential FDA approval, whether it's with you or looking for a potential licensee. So Mustafa, congratulations. Thank you for being a National Inventor Club member. Really appreciate you joining and supporting and reaping the benefits of the membership. So hopefully we'll see you in the after meeting with the other paid members on there to network. Thank you again, Mustafa.
Pleasure, all mine, Brian.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get on with the guest speakers. We have three representatives from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So let's get them on the screen here. So we have Elizabeth Doherty. Welcome, Elizabeth. Let's get Tomika Obachan, she's on, and Janet Gongola. How you doing? All right. I think a couple of you are muted, but we'll give you a second to unmute. So thank you all for joining. And I thought it was really important to have the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on, because you know what? At some point, whether it's for intellectual property protection of a patent, a trademark, just different types of things that you're going to need to protect yourself, it's really important to know to navigate through USPTO.gov. And I speak to many inventors, and I mentioned the website, and they haven't gone to it yet. And I know how much time the USPTO puts into the inventor tools and resources and entrepreneurship on their website. So I thought it would be good for us to kind of navigate together from their perspective and to be able to help us. So let's see if we can get the streaming of, there we go. All right, so Elizabeth, it looks like Elizabeth, Tomika, and Janet. So we're gonna go through the website, and this is the homepage, right?
It is, Brian, and thank you for having us on again. It's always a pleasure to be on with you and your audience in the National Inventors Club. We know what great work you're doing in supporting, encouraging, and motivating inventors to be their best selves, to bring their inventions forward, and to share them with the public. It's always a pleasure to be on to share resources of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, particularly some of the hidden gems that you can find at www.uspto.gov. Our website
Excellent.
is so rich with resources, oftentimes it's hard to find them. So we're really happy tonight to be able to showcase some of them. I'm going to turn it over to Tamika, who's going to help you navigate our homepage, our landing page, which is constantly under revision to make it more user-friendly, to make the information more forthcoming. But we're going to start there and then do a deeper dive into some parts of the website.
Excellent. Elizabeth and Tamika and Janet, I know that USPTO, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, is a pretty big place. What are your titles, if you can mention to the community tonight?
Sure. Thank you, Brian. And you're right, we are a 13,000 person agency. So I am fortunate to be a 30-year veteran of the agency, and my current role is as the Eastern Regional Outreach Director, which is really just a long way of saying that my team and I help people. And we specifically help people that are located in the 17 states of the East Coast, from Maine to Florida, and including the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. I'll pass the virtual mic to my colleague, Tamika.
Good evening. Thank you, Elizabeth and Brian. I'm Tamika Obishon. I'm the Eastern Regional Outreach Officer in support of the Eastern Regional Outreach Office, working directly with Elizabeth. Janet?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you also for having me join your program this evening. I am the Vice Chief Judge for Strategy at the Patent Trial and Appeal Board. So the Patent Trial and Appeal Board is a separate division of the Patent Office that adjudicates when an inventor is refused a patent or when the patent is challenged as invalid before the office.
Okay. All right. So we have the website up, and there it is, the homepage of U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So show us where to go.
Sure thing. Thanks, Brian. So let's get started. So we're going to work clockwise, but first I just want to point out our logo. Anytime you're navigating the web through the website and you're trying to find your way back home, if you will, just click on the logo and it will take you right back to this landing page. Okay, let's work our way around the site. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll find just a few links here about us, contact us, and some other information, but you'll also find our wonderful search box. So if you want to find something quickly, just off the top of your head, just want to do a quick search, you can plug in your search terms there and click on the magnifying glass or just hit enter on your keyboard and you'll be able to find what you're looking for. Right beneath that search box, we also have our Find It Fast option, where you'll find information on both patents and trademarks, including information on our patent public search tool and other tools, as well as the trademark electronic search system, also known as TESS. Also, again, fees and payment information and other tools and links that you may find very valuable and helpful.
So Tamika, we're going to go through and you're going to help us with if we need a patent filed, if we need information about possibly filing it ourselves, or maybe finding a patent attorney or agent. I know many people are very interested in the Pro Bono program, which can provide inventors and entrepreneurs with different types of intellectual property protection if they qualify, which is free help there. And there's plenty other things to navigate. We'll even look up some patents on here, and we'll see when you do file what it actually looks like when it's in their database. So very interesting stuff. So definitely pay attention, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. Absolutely. I will cover some additional resources as we grow throughout the, the night. So moving forward, thanks. We also have a few additional tabs here for public events. So any other additional training or webinars that you're interested in, you can find it there. And we have a number of initiatives at the agency where you can find more information on the Council for Inclusive Innovation, Artificial Intelligence, and more. And also we have this pop-up, if you will. If you're new to intellectual property, covering the basics, patents, trademarks, and of course, again, accessing our free resources and inventor and entrepreneur services and resources as well. Now, working our way around the top, we also have a wonderful feature here for our journeys of innovation. And each month, we have a series of stories that we tell about various inventors and entrepreneurs who've made a positive difference in the world. And you can see here we have one 16-year-old inventor, Jadandali Rayo. And so, again, we have a wonderful wealth of resources highlighting inventors such as yourself here at the agency. Now, moving our way around to the patents tab, you'll see not only the patents tab, but we also have a tab for trademarks as well as IP policy and learning and resources. Now, as you go throughout the page and you would select each one of these tabs, you'll see a series of additional information or links. For instance, for the patents tab, we have getting started resources, the application process, maintaining a patent, and any associated tools and links affiliated with patents. You'll see there's information for legal assistance and resources, and we'll cover that as well as information on maintenance fees and filing online. Moving over to the trademarks tab, again, we've broken it down so that you can easily find information getting started with your trademarks, the process overview, some trademark FAQs, if you will, the actual application process for either you can apply online or you can actually search for trademarks, and we'll cover that a little bit later. And also how to maintain a trademark registration, and any affiliated tools and links are also available under the trademarks tab.
You know what, Tomika? It's interesting because for us as inventors, when we come up with an idea, the first thing we might want to do is call up, try to find an attorney or a patent agent, right? But the way I like to work with things that I get involved with, and hopefully everybody feels the same way, is that I like to just educate myself before I call up a patent attorney or agent, just to get an understanding. And that's what's great about this is if I came into this brand new and I saw that it was so easy to navigate through, you can give me the background of what it takes. So when I do have that conversation with a patent attorney or agent, I have a little bit more knowledge of what I'm up to.
Absolutely valid point, Brian. And we will take a deeper dive into finding a patent attorney, going over the patent pro bono program, which are, which is one of the wonderful programs that the agency does have. And uh, again, we've done. Well, the web team has done a fantastic job of really providing a lot of information at your fingertips that's easy to find and, of course, very easy to understand as well. And we also have contact hotlines where you can reach out to individuals either in the Inventors Assistance Center or the Trademark Assistance Center, but also we're here as a resource as well. So if you don't mind, I'll continue navigating the site. Also underneath intellectual property are our IP policy information. Again, you can find additional information apart from, well, in addition to patents and trademarks, we also have information on trade secrets, copyrights, and enforcement policies, as well as international affairs information, including our IP attaché program, and also additional research and training resources that are available here as well. And now what I'd like to do is turn this over to Elizabeth, where she'll do a deeper dive into the Learning and Resources tab. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Tomika. And I've got to tell you, I know we're just scratching the surface of the website tonight. Each and every one of these links and drop-down menus could be a class or a course in and of itself. But hopefully tonight we're introducing you to where to find things. And I've got to tell you, the Learning and Resources pull-down tab is my favorite. This is where I tell people who are just dipping their toe into the water of intellectual property where to start. Again, we have so many places on our website to begin, but I think this is a really great one. So the Learning and Resources is a wealth of information in and of itself. I always like to start by looking at where do I fit in the puzzle? Am I an attorney, agent, or paralegal? Am I an inventor or entrepreneur? And I know that's really our audience tonight, but we also have a kids and educator section. So for those of you who are parents or teachers, great resources if you're trying to educate a young inventor or innovator, if you're trying to talk to your class about the importance of entrepreneurship. Take a look there. We have resources for our media folks. We have just a wealth of information there on this learning and resources pull down tab. Researchers and librarians, our practitioners. Again, so much available here. I would like to point out that on the Learning and Resources tab, you can also, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. So Tamika's probably like, please stop being so frantic. Before I jump into inventors and entrepreneurs, I do want to caution you to go to the right of this Learning and Resources pull down tab, because there's another way to find our events page. And I know Tamika's going to talk about events, and she's already touched on them briefly, but I want to make sure that everyone remembers and knows that we have free, my favorite four-letter word, free events happening Monday through Friday of every week on a wide variety of topics. Again, I know Tamika's going to take you there and show you a couple of different ways to access the events page, but I just can't push it strongly enough. My team and I and other experts across the agency, including our colleague Janet, do public training again every day of the week, and it's really great information. So back to our learning and resources pull down tab. Tamika, let's go ahead and look at the inventors and entrepreneurs link that's found there, because this is a great one-stop shop. What we've done in this inventors and entrepreneurs resource section is we've tried to chart out the patent process for inventors and entrepreneurs chronologically as you get started, before you apply, getting help to apply, applying, after you apply, appeal or fix an issue, entrepreneurial resources. So maybe you have that patent in hand. What do you do next? You take that patent, you want to license it, you want to do something with it. So again, we've tried to take a chronological approach, thinking that this would help people in their entrance into the innovation ecocycle. Beginning with the types of IP protection, attending trainings, again, another link to the events page, patent basics. What is a patent? Of course, under before you apply, there's that information about searching for patents and trademarks. Again, keeping in mind that you are not required by law to search prior to filing an application, but of course, we strongly encourage that you do. Your idea might be just so great somebody's already thought of it. Or perhaps by doing a search, you can further refine your invention, or at least better understand the landscape of the technology in which you're inventing. Getting help to apply, this is incredibly valuable because this is where you can find access to our free resources, resources near you, meaning geographically near you. This will take you to a map and you can identify where you're located or perhaps where your endeavor is located and find resources that are in your community. It could be the patent attorneys and patent agents in your state. It could be the Patent and Trademark Resource Center in your state. It could be an Inventors Club. What's better, an Inventors Club in your area? So I strongly encourage you to visit the state in which you're working or where you plan to work and find the resources that are close to you. So going back to that, again, I know our time is limited together, but this is such a valuable page. I want to make sure that everyone truly appreciates the wealth of information that's here. Information with respect to applying, the costs to file, reduced patent fees. Reduced patent fees, there are patent fees that can be reduced. This is where we talk about our small and micro entity fees. And if you qualify for small or micro entity, please take advantage of them. Small entity fees are fees reduced by 50%. Micro entity fees reduced by 75%. So if you qualify for either of those fee categories, you should take advantage of it. But you need to know what each one of those fee categories is. So take a little bit of time. As Brian described, this website helps you to be a better educated consumer. So if you want to go the road alone or hire a patent attorney or patent agent, make sure you are an educated consumer. You wouldn't go out and just pick the first plumber or electrician or dentist out of the phone book. You'd investigate. You'd read a Yelp review, or you'd look into it. You'd talk to a friend. You'd talk to someone in your Inventors Club to find a recommendation. You would educate yourself as to the process. So inventing is no different. So again, after you apply, appeal or fix an issue, entrepreneurial resources. I can't stress strongly enough the value in this information. But you know what, Tamika? Let's go on because I know we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Which should we go to next? Startup resources. Is that a good place to go next, or should we do
Yes.
scams?
Let's
Startup
start up.
resources?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so I've got to tell you, like our Inventors and Entrepreneurs resource page, this is a one-stop shop for startup resources. Now, what you're going to see is we have, in some instances, duplicated information, because what is the old saying? Tell somebody once, tell somebody twice, tell them 3 times to ensure that they really soak it in and totally understand and appreciate what you're telling them. So we want to make the information easily to access and easy no matter what your approach is to the information. So in the startup resources page, we have information about protecting your IP, protecting it in the US as well as protecting it abroad. We know so many of you are inventing in a global environment. You don't want to sell your product just in America. You want to sell your product across the globe, right? Who wouldn't? We're really a global economy these days. If you're putting it on the internet, you need to consider protecting your intellectual property abroad. So there's a wealth of information here. Again, if you would go, it's also, it links back to that IP policy page that Tamika showed us earlier. Some of the information here for startups is information that is shared with some of our federal government collaborators, such as the SBA. The SBA is here to help you in developing your business plan. That's not something that the USPTO is good at, but we do encourage that intellectual property be part of your business plan from the very beginning. It shouldn't be a rainy day project that you get to when you have more time or money. It should be in the forefront of your business plan and be thought of every step of the way. Because sometimes delaying and protecting your intellectual property can, in fact, preclude you from protecting your intellectual property. But take a look at those SBA resources. They have a wealth of resources, some of which are free, some of which do have a fee. So we encourage you to take advantage of them as well. Finding funding and engaging experts. Some of these experts are through the USPTO. Some of them, again, are through other federal colleagues, such as the National Institute of Standard and Technology, that can help you with the manufacturing process. So again, there's a wealth of information here. This really is designed for the startup. So it's not just talking about intellectual property protection like the Inventors and Entrepreneurs page. This takes it a next step. This takes intellectual property and then also weaves in some other business aspects that startups need to consider. Tamika, I think the next thing I was supposed to talk about before turning it over to you was, I think I'm talking about scam prevention. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
All right,
So
let's talk
let's
about
work our way
something
back there.
that's near and dear to my heart, and I know to everyone in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And that is protecting our inventors from scams. Many of us have seen those late night commercials. You know, got a great idea, let us help you protect it. Some of those folks are less than reputable. Now, with that said, some of them do offer a unique business service. What we again want to emphasize here is we want you to be a well-educated consumer. We want you to make smart decisions and not make decisions which, with hindsight, are going to impact you financially and impact you protecting your intellectual property rights. The USPTO has a very unique role to play in protecting you against invention promotions companies or scam companies that are looking to not provide you the services that perhaps they are suggesting they do in protecting your intellectual property. Our role, in fact, and actually, you know what, Tamika, I'm going to have you jump up just a second because I want to have you. Let's look at the invention promotion or promotion firms tab first there. Thank you. So the USPTO's primary role in identifying scams and scam preventions is to post complaints. If you have a complaint or you have a complaint for someone who has been scammed, the USPTO will publish that complaint on our website. One, to help bring justice, but to also help bring awareness. Now, in order to file a complaint, you have to be willing to identify yourself, or the person who is making the complaint has to be willing to identify themselves. They have to identify the company that they are complaining against and provide some facts and data. The company that the complaint is filed against, then has the opportunity to file a response, and that is also published on our website. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is actually the authority that has the ability to go after invention promotion scam companies or scam companies of any nature. So while the USPTO doesn't have an enforcement authority, the FTC does. So the USPTO works collaboratively with the FTC, but they are really the arm of protection and the arm of enforcement. And you'll see a number of decisions here and some just information from the FTC. But the thing I really want to bring to your attention here is this bottom portion. If you are thinking about using one of these firms, ask for references from their current clients and check the firm's reputation. And you can do so by 3 different things: looking for complaints listed on the USPTO website, by consulting the Better Business Bureau, which you would do for anything, a plumber, electrician, or a dentist. Consult the Chamber of Commerce in your area. So 3 very key facts. Now, Tamika, if we could go to the required information, because I think this is really important as well. So as a result of the Inventors Protection Act of 1999, it was set forth that invention promotion companies must disclose the following information to you before you take advantage of their services. This isn't something they should just do because it's the right thing to do. They are required by law. So if you start talking to one of these companies and they don't provide you with this information, you should specifically ask for it. And we've laid it out here very clearly for you. And there's a number of very key features. The total number of inventions evaluated by the invention promoter for commercial potential in the past 5 years, the total number of customers who have contracted with them in the past 5 years, the total number of customers known by the invention promotion promoter to have received a net financial profit. They may have taken on hundreds, if not thousands of individuals. Have they earned a penny for any one of them? The total number of customers known by the invention promoter to have received a license agreement for their invention. Oftentimes they lay out that they are going to help you commercialize your invention. Well, they should be able to provide proof of that. And then last but not least, the name and addresses of all previous invention promotion companies with which the invention promoter or its officers have collectively or individually been affiliated with in the previous 10 years. Why is this important? Because all too often, we hear these stories of these companies and it becomes a game of whack-a-mole. The company gets in trouble, there's a complaint filed against it, it changes its name and pops up as another company doing the same disreputable work. So they have to disclose to you if they have gone by any other name within the past 10 years. So I just draw this to your attention because I don't want you to be added to the list of people who have been scammed over time. We hear it all too often when we're working with stakeholders, meeting with stakeholders of all walks of life. So with that, I am going to turn the rest of this navigation over to my colleague, Tamika, who's then going to turn it over to Janet to keep the ball rolling.
And look, just real quick, thank you, Elizabeth. Look, no matter what you do, like you said, when you're doing business, right, especially as an inventor, we're very emotional about our idea to start with. And we just get this feeling that whatever it is, this is going to change my life. This is, I'm going to become a millionaire, whatever it is. But really to just start off with saying, okay, my invention or my idea is a business. I'm going to invest my time, money, energy, and effort into it. And I need to just take a step back for a second, do my research, do my due diligence, and start to look through and get educated on what you're going to do. So go on to this USPTO.gov website, and you see that all the tools and resources are here to get you what you need to get started. Do your due diligence and research. And especially now, like Tamika is going to show us how to find a patent attorney or agent, which you want to look. When I first started, I wanted to know about my patent attorney and patent agent. And we'll maybe just give a quick tip on what those are. Patent attorney is somebody that litigates, and a patent agent also can communicate with the patent office. They're registered with the USPTO. But just those type of things, and then seeing how many patents they actually have under their name are important. But look, overall, all the tools and resources and information are here for you. And if you did need that protection, or you did feel like you thought you did the right thing in your due diligence, then you know that USPTO is always here to help and support you. So we appreciate all the information so far.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks, Brian. And yes, I'm going to go and take another deeper dive into some free resources and specifically highlighting our legal resources. So back to the home page, and I'm going to select the Access Our Free Resources link. And from there, we have laid out kind of a one-stop shop, highlighting just all resources, patents, trademarks, attorneys, and business advisors. And as you would select each one of these icons, it would actually just single out or separate out those resources that have that specific icon. So here again, you can find a wealth of information, but I'd like to focus on all resources and just going covering again the Patent Pro Bono program. And that program is really it's a nationwide network of independently operated regional programs. And what happens is they match volunteer patent professionals with any inventors. Who are financially under resourced, as well as small businesses, and they help them to secure patent protection. Now, each regional program is different. And they provide free services, but you have to meet certain requirements. And so, as we click here for the Patent Pro Bono program page, you'll see here the requirements include a certain amount of income. Also, you must have knowledge of your patent, be able to demonstrate how it works, and having a provisional patent application is also important, including, completion of. There's an online course you can take. You can see the link here, a certificate, and also, again, mentioning the invention, be able to describe your invention. And
So,
you can.
Tomika, so what you're saying, and I know a lot of people were interested in this program. So what
Sure.
you're saying is if I qualify and the qualification or the requirements are on this page, if I qualify, I can click on my state and this page is going to connect me up with a volunteer that's going to be able to help me with drafting up my patent application?
Yes,
Wow.
that is
And how much
correct.
is it going to cost?
Cost? Is there a cost? No,
Well,
there is not a cost affiliated.
I didn't mean to make that a tricky question, but no, it's actually it's free, which is fantastic. What about the filing fees? Are those covered also?
Well, according to if you meet certain income requirements, they are.
Fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you. I know there was some questions that came across here about it, so it's great information. Thank you.
Yes. Be sure to look at all of the requirements again. Visit the website, take a deeper dive in, make sure you do your due diligence to search and ask the right questions. And again, we've laid out a lot of information here for you to become the educated inventor, if you will. And so, Elizabeth, did you have anything to add
Oh,
to?
you know what, Tamika, I was just going to add a point of clarification. So
Yes, thank you.
while the legal services provided by each of the respective either state or regional patent pro bono programs are free, um,
Mhm.
each applicant will have to pay the cost to the USPTO, unfortunately. So the patent pro bono program does not pay the USPTO fees. It merely waives the attorney fees. That's what's being in fact provided for free.
And
Thanks for
what's nice
clarifying.
also, thank you. And what's nice also is the filing fees are broken down into micro entity. There's fast track if people are in a hurry. There's small business. There's corporate. So it seems like it's the micro entity has
Yes.
definitely helped.
For sure.
Yes. Thanks, Elizabeth. Moving forward, I'll also go over, again, Brian pointed out finding a patent practitioner in your area. And again, we can go back to the patents tab and under legal assistance and resources, highlighting that information. You'll see, again, a link to the Patent Pro Bono program, also the law school clinic certification program, which is also nice. But here, again, you can either find a patent practitioner or a trademark practitioner. And if you select either link, go here.
Yeah, you just answered. Sean asked about the Pro Bono program with trademarks.
Thank you.
Yep.
And from here, you'll find, again, additional patent practitioners. If you select or click, this is a combo word, here, register, you can find a patent practitioner here. You can also search the practitioner portal. There's also an applicant portal. And this is through the Office of Enrollment and Discipline. And if we go back home, you can find information on the patent practitioner homepage as well.
Okay, so just like looking up a doctor, you want to find out, we had Mustafa earlier, he's a doctor. Just like looking up a doctor and their credentials and information about them, you can actually just go on this part of the USPTO.gov website and look up who it is that might be a patent attorney or agent and see what their credentials are and how long they've been working with the USPTO. But what I've also done in the past is I've taken the either the patent attorney or agent, and I can see how many patents they actually had issued under their name as the patent attorney or agent, which was interesting to see.
Thank you, Brian. And now I'm going to go ahead and navigate to or provide more information on, I believe they had some questions about public PAIR or public patent application information retrieval system. And what I'll do is go ahead and navigate there. And again, if you'd like, you can just use our search box at the very top of the page. And it would file under check the filing status of your patent application.
This is always interesting when I speak to inventors and I ask them what the status is of their patent. Sometimes they have to connect up with their patent attorney or agent, but you can actually do it yourself. You can go on and put in PAIR, P-A-I-R, and it'll come up here, and you take one of the filings that you have, and there's a number on there, and you just take the number, you plug it in here, just like Tomika's doing. Sorry, Tamika. I'm
just following.
It's exciting. So you're putting in a red, you're not putting up.
Yes, I am. Yes,
You
so
are?
you would select the button to access public PAIR. And as Brian stated, you would enter the number. Make sure you have selected the proper option. I've selected application number. Actually, it defaults to that option. And hit the search button. And from here, you'll see some data regarding this specific application, including, again, the number, the filing date, the type of application. This is specifically a utility patent. The first named inventor, also the examiner affiliated with this patent. And you'll see a series of tabs here at the top. And if you want some additional information concerning this particular application, you would select the image file wrapper tab. Excuse me, a little tongue-tied today. And here you can see additional information outlined here. And your focus really would be on the document description. And all of these are hyperlinked, and it'll take you to additional information related to this particular application. For instance, the claims. So if you select this link, it opens up. You'll see information pertaining to this application. Again, the claims specifically, it opens up in a new window, so you don't have to, lose your spot, if you will, on the page. So this back end remains, and you can also sort by using these arrows. If you click on it, will sort out the information in a specific order.
This is very good. So if you're filing, and please, USPTO, I know I have to be on my toes when you're on the line with me here, but when you file a provisional patent application, that's not a patent. It's a filing date that'll give you the right for 1 year to say that your idea is patent pending while you're exploring possibly licensing or manufacturing. And that's not going to be coming up here on this type of retrieval system. That's simply a filing date. So when you do file your non-provisional patent application, after it starts to go into their system, that's when it'll start to get put up here. And all the activity, when you file that non-provisional patent, will come up here, and you'll click on the links and you can see all the activity that's going on between the correspondence, whether it's with you and or your patent attorney or agent. But you can pull up all your stuff here, when things were sent to your patent attorney, when things were sent to you, what the office actions are. You can really keep track of these things here, which is very, very convenient.
Thank you, Brian. And now we're going to move forward just to highlight quickly the Trademark Electronic Search System, or TESS. And you can actually access that under the Find It Fast tab under Trademarks, and click here. So if you're interested in finding out information on, again, a specific trademark, either a word or design mark, you can use any of these options: basic word mark search, word and or design mark search, and structured or freeform, and just select that option here. And so if we put in a specific company and a disclaimer just to state we are not endorsing any particular company or business. These examples are used for educational purposes. So I will put in a very highly recognized brand name here.
While you're putting that in, Tamika, so this is the fun part. This is when you're coming up with a name for your idea or your invention. What you're doing is your invention most likely is going to be in a certain class of goods. And this is almost as fun as looking up a domain name using GoDaddy or what have you. So you go on USPTO.gov, you go into trademarks, and you go into the Trademark Electronic, so TESS, and you simply put in the name and try to keep it generic to start with. But once you put it in, you'll see, which Tamika will show us, that these type of names can come up, and you can take a look at what class of goods they're in to make sure that it's not going to be confusing to the consumer out there, because this is when you start selling it. So not to go too deep into when to actually file, but this is a great resource just to get started and seeing if your trademark is available.
Yes, thank you, Brian. And I will say, I'm just going to highlight a quick search. If you really want to find out more on how to search TESS and everything else about trademarks, we do have a trademark basics boot camp, and you can find more information about that on our events page.
Great.
But just for show and tell for this evening, I will perform a simple search. And quickly, I haven't changed anything here, but you can select from any of these radial dials if you want something singular or plural, live or dead. And live meaning that it's active, the trademark is still active, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But I will just do a quick search just so that you can see something very simple. And again, just for teaching purposes, quickly.
When you file, you have a TM that you can put next to your name for a trademark. When you get a registered trademark, so you show the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office that you're actually using it in commerce and they approve it, then your TM turns into an R, a registered trademark.
And as you can see from here, there are many names listed here, not just for NIKE, but a combination of names. This is a very well-known brand, if you will. Not only do you have the name here, but you also have the design. And you can see here from the description for goods and services, additional information, as Brian pointed out. And again, you can find more information by searching TESS on your trademark specifically, or when you're trying to develop your trademark. And again, for more information on a deeper dive, if you will, into TESS and other trademark basics, we have the boot camp.
You have the boot camp, but you also have the Inventor Assistance Center. So there's
absolutely
right. They can help with trademarks, with patents, anything that's really on the website. They can help.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Great.
And
Thank
so
you.
now Thank you. And what I'll do now is turn this over to Janet.
Thank you, Tamika. I wanted to come on tonight to talk to you about a special webinar series that the Patent Trial and Appeal Board has created especially for independent inventors. Our series is called Inventor Hour, and it is held the last Thursday of every month. In fact, we have a series tomorrow. It runs from noon to 1 o'clock. It's completely free. The point of this series is to educate you and answer questions, receive your feedback about various aspects of practice before the Patent Trial and Appeal Board. We offer a variety of different segments, sometimes on appeals, sometimes on trials, sometimes on how the Patent Trial and Appeal Board fits into the IP landscape. Each webinar, we introduce you to a judge or a staff member, and our most important portion is to receive questions from all of you. Tamika has pulled up for you on the slide an announcement of our program that we're holding tomorrow. So we would love for all of you to attend, pass the word to your colleagues, other inventors, entrepreneurs, and please give us feedback as well about any content that you would like to see featured during the webinar program.
Thank you. So besides all the information on the website, there are various events that are happening. Some might be a little bit deeper than others for where you are in the invention process or innovation or the intellectual property part of it. So if you have a patent and there's something that might come up, the patent office does have resources that are available to help you. So there's things along the way that your patent attorney or agent may let you know about, or you might get notified about. And it's just good to know that something that we're not sure about, instead of trying to scour the internet for like information, you can go right on here. And I'm sure after the event also, Janet, it's available recorded as well, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. We have a web page where we feature prior sessions. So you can look up information if you missed something or you want to take notes. Feel free to check it out. And I should mention, most importantly, this is a free webinar. So it's access to information served to you on a silver platter.
That's great. So really, there's a lot of questions that are coming in here. Yes, we can share the link. So really, when you go on to uspto.gov, where can you just navigate us through there, Tamika? Where do we go for the events area? Right there. So learning and resources right there. You can take a look at that. Let's see what other questions. Are there discount programs for people who don't qualify for pro bono? Well, Peter, your question there. I think we were talking about the micro entity. Is there anything else, Elizabeth, that we can mention to Peter?
You know, I would refer Peter to our law school clinic program. The law school clinic program is kind of a corollary to the patent pro bono program. And what it is, as Tamika alluded to, is it's law schools who have received certification from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to allow law school students growing the next generation of IP practitioners. It allows law school students under the supervision of a patent practitioner or a professor who has a certification or an appreciation of intellectual property law to provide free or reduced cost legal services. Again, the applicant would have to pay the USPTO fees, but they can work with the law school student, again, who is supervised to receive both patent and or trademark services. So it's important to look at our law school clinical map to see the law school that's closest to you and see what area of the law they're practicing in. Because some of our law school clinics only do patents, some only do trademarks, some do patents and trademarks. The beauty of these programs is sometimes they don't follow the same financial cap that our patent pro bono program does. So if you make a little bit too much money, but you're still under resourced, try the law school clinic program.
Excellent. Thank you. Excellent resource. Thank you for that, Diane. Houston, let's see. So informative. How long can a person hold on to a patent if they continue to pay the maintenance fee?
Well, that depends. It depends on what kind of a patent it is. If it's a utility or plant patent, let's keep in mind those are good for 20 years from the date of earliest filing. For our design patents, they are good for 15 years from date of issuance. Now, keep in mind, design patents do not require maintenance fees. Maintenance fees are only required for utility and plant patents.
Okay. And Angelica, I'm doing myself. The system is I am doing so she's working with your website, and she said that the system is very good. Thank you for that. Okay, Peter, thank you. Okay, I'm just navigating through. So really, one part, Elizabeth and Tamika and Janet, that people really are just, when I talk to them and they tell me that they have a patent and they're not really sure what they have. Maybe it's a provisional patent application, again, which is only a filing date. How do we know when we're filing what we're like, to kind of go into a conversation with a patent attorney or agent? How can we figure out what each one of those mean so we know what we're filing when somebody's asking us what we want?
Tamika, maybe you want to take that one. I think it brings us back to that patent basics page or the Inventor and Entrepreneurs resource page where it talks about, what is intellectual property? What are the various types of patent applications that we have? So maybe that patent basics pull down might be a good place for that individual to start.
That would be great. So that provisional patent application. So realistically, I could take this pencil and I could file a provisional patent application for this. Now that'll say that I'm patent pending on this pen, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to get a patent, right? Most likely this is public domain because it's been around for more than 20 years. So you and I can both make a pencil. So when I convert it, or when I convert my idea into a non-provisional patent application, that's when I'm patent pending and I'm waiting for my turn to be able to be in front of the examiner of the US Patent and Trademark Office for them to evaluate my invention. And if it's a utility patent, otherwise known as a non-provisional patent, then that has claims in it. And most of the time what that means is that it's function, there's a utility, there's a purpose to it, and you're going to be able to explain that in the claims. And then you have the design patent. Design patents are ornamental. So it's really the way they look. And it's not really that you can explain how they work. So when you're deciding on what sort of intellectual property protection you want, this is the type of thing that you need to take a look at and see what those mean. Of course, you can always look, I have over a dozen patents and I still use a patent attorney or agent to be able to look and just help me with figuring it out. And one most important thing that a lot of people do, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, this part really excites me. I love intellectual property. A patent search. Elizabeth, you and I have spoken before, and so many inventors, we get really excited about our invention. We want to be able to file, we want that patent, we want to be able to hang it up on the wall. Tell us how important that patent search is and what we could do to kind of help ourselves to be able to see if our idea already is out there.
Yeah, Brian, you're so very right. Again, I think as I said before, you're not required by law to do your own patent search, but why not save yourself the headache, the heartache, the financial outlay, again, if your invention is already out there. All too often we hear when speaking with inventors that they haven't seen their invention on the store shelves of Home Depot or Target or even on Amazon, so it must not have been invented. Well, that's not necessarily true. And this is where that patent search comes in, because this is what a patent examiner is going to do when they get your patent application. They are going to search the world over, issued patents, published patent applications, and this is both US and foreign patents and patent applications. And they're going to search what we call non-patent literature, publications, trade journals, internet websites, senior thesis documents. As long as something is published and publicly available and pertinent to the patentability of your invention, an examiner can use it. And unfortunately, telling you that perhaps your invention is not novel or that it is not non-obvious. So we encourage you to both try and do a patent search on your own, use the USPTO tools. We, in fact, have just rolled out a new search system, a new public search system, which more closely mirrors what our patent examiners use, and it's called PPubs. And you'll see in our free events that we are doing trainings on PPubs to understand and appreciate how to better use it. You can go into one of our over 80 patent and trademark resource centers that are located nationwide in public libraries, usually on a college or university campus, but in free libraries accessible by the public. These PTRCs have one or more librarian who is gifted in patent and trademark searching who will help you set up a high quality patent search because there is some complexity to it. You know, using broad search terms, using the right search terms can really help define a high quality patent search.
Absolutely. And I could tell you from my experience, I came up with something and I always make sure that I want to search to find it. I know I go on the basic websites and I go through, but then I go to the USPTO.gov and I go into searching for patents and I keep my searching generic, just kind of to be able to pull what's up. And I look, and if there's a patent that comes up, you click on it. If there's a letter D before the number, then that's a design patent. It's simply ornamental. If there's no D and it's a US, you can actually look through and you can read the claims. And that's really what you received or what that person or company received the patent for, is to protect themselves from those claims. Now they have the right for up to 20 years there to be able to say that those are their rights to that intellectual property. So really interesting. Once you go in and you start to look at one patent, you can look at the references that are on there for other patents that they had to include for that patent. So once you start, you'll never end. It'll just keep going and you'll click into the next one, the next one, the next one. So I can still try to do it, but then I gave it to a patent search company to be able to look for me, and I'll give them some things that I found that I think are similar, because most of the time things are coming off another thing to come up as you're coming up with your idea. So I reference some URLs. Maybe I go into this search and I reference some patents that I think might be similar. And then what I do is I have a professional opinion done. Here's my idea. Here's some things that I found. Is my idea enough of a difference to make it so I can call it my own patent? You know, I can get my own intellectual property on it. And they'll search and they'll check. And then what I like to do also is to be able to get a patentability opinion. And that's going to say, hey, based on what we found, is your idea patentable or not? And again, this is only an opinion. So if it's a yes, I don't mind getting a second or third opinion. If it's a no and I hit a brick wall, I have to decide, is this something that I'm going to move on with? Or is what I can do, take a little bit more and make it so I can call my own. So these are the things that I need to go through to know that I should move forward with my invention or not. And you should too. It's great information here. Just continuing to navigate through. So what do you think? Any final tips and tricks from USPTO that we should know?
You know, Brian, if I had one takeaway for folks, it's first and foremost to visit our website to get started. But secondary to that would be, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. We want to be known as an agency of communication and collaboration. So whether you reach out to myself, to Mika, Janet, or reach out to our Trademark Assistance Center, our Inventors Assistance Center, reach out to one of the many offices at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. No question is considered dumb. No question is considered crazy. We welcome all of them. We know the inherent complexity of protecting your intellectual property. So we encourage you to reach out, ask questions, ask for assistance, ask how we can help. Maybe it's directing you to an initiative or a resource, directing you somewhere on our website or to some staff person at the USPTO who can help. So again, people should not be afraid to call us, to reach out, to email us. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve the
Excellent.
American public.
Thank you. And everybody appreciates what you've done. I love Elizabeth. You're awesome. Thank you, Kimberly.
We're a team, Team USPTO.
Dave, thanks, Elizabeth, Tamika, and Janet. Carrie, we got Carrie here also. Thank you for providing this great information. Fantastic. There's a lot of other questions here. What's the cost of filing? Which you have the filing fee on there. What about with the patent examiners, what they typically invest, like how much time they put into a search before they move on. So you want to do that, whoever that LinkedIn member was, really you want to do that before you file, because once you file, then this kind of like to backtrack is going to be very difficult. So you want to do your search before you file. What do you think, Elizabeth and Tamika and Janet?
I would agree with that because you want to put forth your best effort when filing that patent application. Because making changes during the prosecution process, while you can make changes, they're called amendments, you can't introduce new matter once you've filed your application. So I'd be concerned that searching after you've filed your application may want you to change your invention. Probably not the right time to do it. So better to have done that search prior to filing, to be knowledgeable about the field of endeavor you're inventing in, knowledgeable about what other inventions are out there. Try and do it beforehand, because then the examiner is going to take it the next step of the way. The examiner is going to also do a patent search, and likely they're going to turn up stuff that you didn't find, but you may at least see some stuff that you're familiar with and have already done a little bit of that legwork.
Absolutely. You know what? Vicky wrote a long comment here, but one thing that I love that she said, which I totally agree with, is that this has been empowering, because
Awesome.
we cannot, as inventors, we cannot get enough information. I would rather that we know as much as we can before we step into speaking to somebody else to be able to help us and guide us through, because realistically, we're not going to be able to do it all on our own. So we do need to trust and find the right tools and resources, and we appreciate this. And this gives us another edge to be informed. So we really appreciate all of you being on. Elizabeth, Tamika, Janet, thank you so much. One just last question. If you can show us where it's there, contact us. So there's somebody that asked where the phone number is. So if they can't figure out where to go, but that search, the search uspto.gov, that'll help you quite a bit. But if you still want to give a call, there are people that answer the phone and will navigate you through the website and answer any questions that you need. Perfect. All right, some final words of wisdom from Elizabeth, Tamika, and Janet. Let's sign off. Just say goodbye to the inventors and entrepreneurs and service providers for inventors that are out there. Really appreciate having you on. So let's give us some final words of wisdom.
Why don't we start with Janet?
Well, thank you for having me on this evening. And my words of wisdom are simple. Please watch Inventor Hour to learn all about the PTAB. Last Thursday of every month.
Okay.
Tamika?
Well, again, we're here as a resource. Please feel free to contact us. You have our contact information, and also check out our events page for additional training opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Brian, I'm just going to say it again. Thank you for having us on. Thank you for supporting, encouraging, and empowering inventors. You all join an Inventors Club. I'm sure that's why you're here this evening. Embrace the Inventors Club. It's a great resource, as well as the USPTO resources. Again, reach out to us. We look forward to getting your application, and we look forward to helping you through that process. So don't be afraid.
Thank you very much.
We're here to help.
Thank you very much. One last thing, Elizabeth, the inventor or innovation outreach teams. I noticed that there's regional innovation or inventor outreach teams. Can you just share how we can connect up with that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. When Tamika was navigating through that Contact Us page, you could see USPTO locations. You can also see it if you go to that USPTO in your region page. You can see that there are, in fact, 5 locations of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Prior to the America Invents Act of 2011, the USPTO was only in one location, and that's since its inception in 1790. With the America Invents Act, we were encouraged and, in fact, really pushed by Congress to create regional offices, and we did just that. So we're located not only in our Alexandria, Virginia headquarters, but we have regional offices in Detroit, Denver, Dallas, and San Jose. Now, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, they are still closed to the public, but we hope to be reopening very, very soon. So we look forward to welcoming you back to our buildings. And in each of our facilities, we do have public search terminals. We have a larger facility at our headquarters, but each one of our regional offices also has public search terminals to search patents and trademarks, as well as human beings who are there to help you. So come in, have a consultation, talk with one of our supervisory patent examiners, talk with one of our staff people there, and get the assistance that you need.
Thank you so much. All of you, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Of course, we're going to have you back again. As always, every month we do have information from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office that's provided in the beginning of every National Inventor Club meeting. So thank you again for joining us, and we appreciate it again. Thank you. Okay, that was really interesting. U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and I love that. Empowering the inventor. We can get as much information as we can. That's what I do here with the National Inventor Club, continuing to bring great guests to you, information, tools and resources to keep you moving forward with your invention. So thank you everybody for joining us. National Inventor Club, you can go to nationalinventorclub.com, become a free member, become a paid member, keep in touch with us, keep getting great information to keep you and your ideas moving forward. For those of you who are paid members, in your email, you received a link to join us with the after meeting networking event. So I will see you there. Thank you very much. nationalinventorclub.com. Have a great night. Empowering inventors. Thank you.